What up, folks? What it do? Welcome to another episode of the Best Advice Ever podcast. And I'm back in the familiar setting, back in the office, back on the saddle again. Thank y'all so much for being patient with me. Last week I was in an impromptu studio, but now I'm back in my familiar digs. And every episode, for the last, I don't know how many, but I've been starting right out of the gate with the best advice ever. And this is coming from a very, very personal place. And I'm actually probably talking to me more than I am talking to you. And the best advice ever today is allow people to do their jobs. I want to say it in my South Carolinian vernacular. Let them people do their job. Let them people do their job, if you would allow me the ability to communicate in Southern vernacular. Let them people do their job. Allow people to do their job. And what really prompted this is me. Like this whole episode probably be me talking about me, but really from like I'm really kind of understanding that, hey, we're not at the same level that we were. It's time to operate in a different manner. So for the best advice ever, basically, I now, and I've mentioned this before, I now have a manager. I now have an agency that will walk alongside and partner with me in terms of moving my career forward. Before, it's just been me and my wife, and I had a booking agent, someone that I sent the leads to, and they would follow up and take care of the logistics. And this person also operated in some manner as an agent in terms of trying to maybe garner up opportunities, open doors that were not open before. But that's not the primary job of a booker. The booker's job is basically to book shows. You send them the leads, they request, they execute the paperwork, contracts, they get the deposits, they will communicate with the client. If I need to get on a call, which you should get on a call with folks, but they will facilitate what times work best, and then I'll get on the call. But in terms of all the logistics, whether there needs to be a check that's being picked up or understanding that all the monies have been deposited, and after the performance, I will get my payment. I'll get all the information in terms of the point of contact, dress code, how many people to expect, what the event is, those types of things. But now I have a new group. I have a group of folks that are responsible for at this stage, like routing a tour. Like, so let me give you, I guess, a little bit of behind the scenes or just some more insight on how this works. Cause I'm starting to notice, just even by conversations I'm having with folks, that the way that I'm operating prior to now, like the way going forward, is about to change. But the way prior to this is basically trying to think of like a great analogy. I think it's like Tetris. So I think I was operating in the spirit. Church folks love to say the spirit or something. I was operating in the spirit of Tetris, meaning that there were these pieces that were falling down in my career, booking shows, and I was trying to fit everything into the puzzle. So the pieces are coming down, and you're like, oh, that's a triangle, that's a rectangle, so let's move that to the edge, so that gives me more room. Then we got this perpendicular type of rhombus. We got a rhombus coming down here. We have a star. You got all these different shapes that are falling, and I'm just trying my best to make it all fit. That's kind of I was operating from the Tetris paradigm. I've never said this before. This is the first time ever saying this, and it's a pretty insightful way to communicate this. The Tetris. So all these opportunities, all these things were falling into my lap or falling into my stratosphere, but we had to move them around to make it fit. Going forward, we will design the puzzle. Like, this is what the puzzle will look like. So we have the parts and we put it together from the beginning, and then we present it, as opposed to building it as I go. That's kind of the operation that what I've been doing. And so when you build it as you go, man, you out here, I'm talking to contractors. I'm talking to the folks at Home Depot. I'm talking to a guy that drove by and was like, hey, man, we do some painting. We would love to paint that one room. And I'm like, well, how much it costs? And like, well, our painters are not going to be here that day. Let's get it done. As opposed to now, there's a whole plan in place. Like, these are the dates. This is what the calendar will look like. And then going forward, if there are things that are like from the Tetris model, maybe they don't go on. They don't fit. And in doing that, or what my thought process needs to be, folks need to contact my agent or my manager and not me. And that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I just had somebody today send me a text. Hey, this other comics he has a theater. He wants to book me for his theater. What number should I give him? Typically, I would give him my number, and I would have got on the phone with this brother, and we would have talked about his event. And then I would have been like, okay, depending on what he said, I would be like, hey, let's go ahead and book that. You'll be hearing from my wife, and she'll go ahead and execute the paperwork, whatever. But in this case, I'm sending everybody to the people that work for me. Unless it's like at the very high level of individual, my pastor, right? Someone that has unfettered access. But for the most part, man, you gotta talk to the team. So allow the people that you've hired to do a job that you've hired them to do. Let them do the job. And I think that's the best advice ever, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a manager at a job. Like, at your job, there's a young individual that you are over. Oh, not over is not a good word, but you are leading, or that's on your team, and you don't want to get rid of them, but they're not doing all that they need to do. So you kind of jumping in there and doing other folks' work for them, or trying to lighten the load. And that doesn't benefit the individual at all. And that could be even with our children. We're trying to jump in there and lighten the load, and they need to know how to be able to carry heavy loads, right? Now, again, I'm not saying just throw your kids out there, just allow them out there, sink or swim, but don't get in the way of progress. Allow people to do their job. And that's the paradigm in which I'm offering the best advice ever. If you've hired someone to do a job, allow those people to do the job. Give them all the tools, give them all the information, give them all the resources that they need to execute, and then get out the way and let them execute. And so I'm telling myself that because, again, we've for so long, I've gotten on the phone with people and had conversation and just been like, hey, yeah, let's hear about your event. And I'm the kind of guy, I'm easy to sell. I'm an easy sell guy. Like, I want to buy. Like we used to say back in the day, that money's burning a hole in my pocket. I want to buy things. I want to help people out. I want to assist. I want to do the event. I want to do your birthday parties. I want to do all the things, but it just is not feasible at this point. And then I even was on some like, frustration type situation where, like, man, people be like, man, I've been following you for years. We got to get you to the church. And it's like, hey, man, you should have did that already. Like, them days are probably long gone. Just recently happened. Like, I just did an event yesterday. I did a keynote speech for a Christian school, a Hebron Christian Academy, and I don't even want to say the place, DeLuca, Georgia. It's right outside of Beaufort, outside of Brazelton, Georgia. I know a buddy of mine gonna be like, man, I live there. You ain't hit me up, man. I was in and out, man. I came late, left early. But I did this keynote, right? And I realized that in 1 hour, the payment that I received for this keynote, it would have took me 30 days to get the same amount of money at my job. At the same job I left at Heathwood. My job, I would have took me 30 days. So what I did in an hour, it would have took me 240 hours. And man, that's incredible. And I have a great amount of appreciation and gratitude for where I am. So I got to reconfigure my attitude. Cause I have challenges, and especially this week. This week is going to be very, very challenging because I had that event on Monday. So let me paint the picture a little bit of what happened. So my daughter will be going to college on Monday. We're moving her in on Monday, right? So I was approached, or somebody sent me a message from the Columbia Fireflies. So the Columbia Fireflies is the minor league baseball team that's here in Columbia. Well, they sent me an email or sent me a DM. They slid into my DMs. It was like, "What up, big head?" They were like, "Hey, man, we love what you're doing on social media, how you are representing Columbia, all the things, man. We would love to invite you to the ballpark on us. You will be our VIP." I think the position is like social media captain of the day. So I would do the highlights and just provide content from the ballpark, right? So when they sent that, the only date that we could do it as a family, with my daughter included, was this Sunday. And I wasn't trying to do that because I had a show, I had the keynote on Monday morning. And the distance from where I was and where the event was, it's about 3 hours. It was a 3-hour drive from Columbia. So my plan under normal circumstances would have probably been go to church, come home, get my stuff packed up, take a little nap, roll out around 2 or 3, get to Georgia around 6, 7, get some dinner. Then I probably could hit my buddy up, chill, watch a couple of episodes or whatever I'm watching on Netflix, go to bed, be up early at the morning for the event, because I ended up doing my keynote at 11:30. But it didn't go down like that. My wife, when I tried to communicate that, hey, man, that Sunday's not going to work, my wife's like, hey, come on. She really want to have this opportunity. She would really like to go, because we have gone to a number of games together. So when I looked at the schedule, I looked at the time for the game. The game was at 5:00. So I did look at it and was like, okay, I could go to the game. And I'm thinking most games are about 3 hours. So I could be at the game for about 3 hours, jump on the road from the ballpark and go to Georgia, which would get me there around 11:00. Well, yeah, 11:00. Probably no dinner, get in the room, get some sleep, right? So I was prepared. I said I would do that. My wife was like, come on, you can make it happen. So this is what fathers do. They sacrifice, right? So I let the folks know, hey, yeah, this Sunday would work for us to come in the family. So what we basically ended up doing, getting 2 cars or driving 2 cars so that I can leave from the ballpark as opposed to taking them home, then leaving. So we get there and it's even before we leave, it's raining. It's coming down. So I send them a message. I say, hey, is this rain gonna stop the game. And it was like, well, we hope not. We had the tarp down. So once it stopped, we'll be ready to roll. It'll probably be 30-minute delay. Cool. So we went on down to the ballpark. Got to the ballpark, did the tour. We got to see the inside where they have the weight room, the batting cages. Walked out on the field, took some pictures. They showed us where we're sitting, but the seats, it was raining, so it was gonna be wet seats. So they took us up to the lounge, got some food. There was also places where we could watch the game from the lounge. Cool. So we up there, raining continues, and it's probably getting stronger. So at some point they give us a weather delay. It's weather delay, right? Cool. So now I'm formulating in my mind. I'm thinking the game's still gonna happen. I'm thinking maybe the game will happen at 7. They'll probably play because they can't reschedule this game. Once they call it, it's a wrap. So I'm thinking, at the latest they'll get it going at 7. They'll probably play to 9:30, 10 o'clock. I had prepared to okay, I'm just gonna stay home, get up at like 5 in the morning, drive over, go to my hotel, maybe get an hour or so of sleep, get myself together, and come on over to the school. I had mentally prepared to do that, but that wasn't the case. They called the game, so the game was called at around 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, they made the call that, hey, unfortunately, the weather conditions are not gonna let up, so we're gonna call the game, and you can have opportunity to come to another game. These tickets are you can redeem these tickets at an upcoming game. It's a number of games that are still on the schedule, right? And then even for me doing the VIP thing, they were like, hey, let's just figure out another date so we can come back. So we'll go back minus my daughter. So I leave around 7-ish, making my way to Georgia. Now the rain is coming, throwing down rain, right? And I'm talking about kind of like blinding type rain. And I'm the kind of person, when I drive, man, there's never no pull over to the side of the road. I'm gonna drive through it. And there's an illustration. There's a book called Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden. I think he illustrates what the buffalo do in a storm. He's like, the buffalo run towards the storm. Most times people get caught in a storm longer because they try to go the direct opposite direction of the storm. But he says buffalo are able to they're able to get through storms a little faster because they run head first into the storm. And so by the time they're basically running into the storm and the storm is passing over them, so they spend less time in the storm versus if they just sat where they were sitting or if they went the other direction, right? So I got that buffalo kind of thought process. I'm like, man, let's get through this rain. And I do. Get through the rain. I get to Georgia. It's probably right at 10 o'clock. And the reason that that's significant, because where I'm in Beaufort, I go to Beaufort, Georgia. There's some restaurants right next to the hotel, like walking distance, but they all close at 10 o'clock. So I end up going to another spot. I asked the girl at the counter. She tells me about this spot. I go over there, grab a trash dinner. Trash. Oh, I had a trash dinner, man. I chose the Nashville chicken pizza. It was very trash. Very trash. The other option I was looking at was the jerk chicken wings, and I probably should have went that direction. But I had trash dinner, came back to the room. I think I watched some episode. I've been watching that Leanne on Netflix. Yeah, been watching Leanne. That's been very entertaining. Hopefully, I would love to open for Leanne. What's Leanne's last name? I can't remember Leanne's last name. But she's a hilarious comedian. And so I think I watched an episode or two of that. Went to bed. Now again, I'm about 15 minutes away from the school. Get up the next morning, and I had the idea like, oh, maybe I could go to the gym, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get in these books and do some reading. And so I'm off a little bit because I'm probably needing to be leaving the hotel at like 9:05. So my time, I get off some type of way, and I'm end up leaving around 9:20, 9:30. So I'm close to because the event starts at 10. The event starts at 10. And so but it's a big school, and I'm not particularly sure where to go. So I get to the school, but it's coming down at this point. So now I get up the next morning, it's coming down. So now I'm at the school. I'm calling all the numbers I have, cell phone numbers to the people. Nobody's answering the phone. So then I had to call the booking guy that he booked it. He's not answering. Then he finally answers. I say, I can't get in touch with the folks. I'm sitting in the parking lot. But we finally get everything squared away. It's Christian school, man. So they start the program with worship. They come out with worship at the gate. Very beautiful, very beautiful. Then the head of school, he did a sermon. He did a whole sermon. I did my keynote. So they got a lot of talking. But my keynote is funny. So they got a lot of laughing too. So I did my keynote, right? And then I ended up leaving because they were having like some good barbecue or something. And I was just like, first off, I'm not trying to be fluffy, Mike. And I got a 3-hour drive. So it would not be the best decision to eat all this good barbecue, get in that car and try to drive, man, because I'll be on the side of the road somewhere. Drowsy in a mug, right? So I decline the meal, and I make my way back home. Get in that car, man, and that rain is coming down again. So I caught the rain coming, and I caught the rain going, right? So I get home finally. So that's Monday. And then you got Tuesday, Wednesday are the 2 days that I'm gonna be at home. Then I'm on the road. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina on Thursday. I'm in Hickory, North Carolina on Friday. Greensboro, North Carolina on Saturday, and Charlotte on Sunday. And we got to take Gabrielle to school on Monday. So I was back to what got me kind of in my feelings and my emotion. My attitude was a little bad. I was just looking at this week and was basically like, man, I just would have liked to have been home. And just this is my last week with my daughter. So I had that little attitude. But then I got myself together. But again, that's a lot. So we're gonna drive her to Nashville on Monday, and then we celebrate our wedding anniversary. But man, I don't that doesn't even seem reasonable at this stage. Like the fact that we're taking her to school, I think is overshadowing everything. So yeah, man, that's where we kind of are in terms of in terms of in terms of what's going on at this stage and at this point in time. And it just feels like, man, this is just a lot. Like taking her to college would be enough, but to have these 5 shows in the same week, it's quite a bit. And then I have a big event that's going on that following Friday that I need to really put some attention and focus on. So yeah, that's where we are, and that's what we are up against. So I'm understanding that, man, I need to take my butt to bed a little bit sooner and figure out how to get a little bit more rest in the in-between times and give myself a little bit more grace. Because again, I'm from the school of don't stop till the body drops, right? I'm from the don't stop, get it committee. And I gotta stop and I gotta not get it sometimes. You gotta chill. So that's what we're up against. Now, one thing too, man, I've been thinking a lot about, I've been like I don't know if this is 50. I don't know if 50 does this, but I'm doing a lot of reflection, doing a lot of thought, a lot of processing. Interesting situation. So here's a very transparent moment. I hate saying transparent moment because then people are like, ooh, what is it about to say? So it's a very interesting moment. We're going to the baseball game on Sunday, and my son starts school this week. I think he starts school on Wednesday, and he had already gone and got his shoes for school, like get some new school shoes, right? So we getting ready to go to the game. My son walks out in his school shoes, like on his feet, right? And I have like a PTSD moment. I have a whole inside issue around, like, bro, what the heck is going on right now, man? People are hitting your boy up, man. I gotta call these people back. Yeah, so I have this moment. So this is what happened to me when I was a young lad. I might have been in the ninth, and I can't piece it all together. I know it wasn't good, and I don't know if this happened. These were two. I think this had to have been the same situation. Charlotte Hornets. So my father is a huge Converse guy. My dad was all about Dr. J's, man. Like here I am in school in like the 80s wearing Dr. J. Dr. J had retired from the NBA. And those were not attractive shoes. They were just like leather shoes with no insole. It's like flat shoes, man. So here we all run around with Dr. J. My dad loves Converse like it's nobody's business. So Charlotte Hornet comes, the expansion team. We get an expansion team. And what happens is, I guess Converse has a contract with the NBA. So they roll out these Charlotte Hornet Converse, these white, blue, teal, great looking shoes, man. I thought wonderful shoes. So my dad takes us to get shoes at the beginning of the year, and these Converse Charlotte Hornet sneakers are available. So I get them. Like he buys these shoes. And I mean, these are like prized possessions of mine, right? And I have two thoughts. I have two memories. One of them is I wore these shoes to the jamboree, right? So the jamboree in Camden typically happens like the weekend. Well, back when I was, and that was 30 years ago. I don't know what they do nowadays, but back in the day, the jamboree would be the Friday night before school starts. So let's say that maybe school starts on Tuesday. Jamboree is that week, and it's not a full game. I think basically these teams, it'll be like 4 or 5 teams, and they'll play like 2 quarters or a half, right? So you have these different teams. You have, everybody from school is at the game. Like the Jamboree is the kickoff for the football season, man. And I wore those sneakers to the game, man. I mean, they're my sneakers. I'm wearing them to school. Man, I think I got my head taken off. Like, and it was like the riot act. Like he read me my rights about those are for school. Like I did something wrong. Like, I mean, like, hey man, I wore the shoes. What is wild about my dad, man? Because my dad there's a number of things, man, I just did not understand. The way that I think, if the jamboree would have been the Friday of the week of school, I don't think that there's no issue. If I wear these shoes to school on Tuesday and I go to the football game with them on Friday, I don't think there's an issue. But to wear them the Friday before school, like, holy smokes, man. So I mean, I got the beat down. I got the beat down. And the other moment I'm thinking about is, well, I think I had a buddy of mine over at the house. And we might have been back out in the yard running our mouth. And my buddy, we talking about school stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, man, I got those new Converse Charlotte Hornet joints. And he wanted to see them. And man, I think I took him into the bathroom. Like I snuck him into the bathroom and like showed my buddy, man, like the shoes through the bathroom window. And I think I got in trouble for that. So when my son came bebopping out in his new fresh Nikes that he's supposed to be wearing to school, I was like, hey man. And I didn't, I was in control. I didn't snap. I was like, hey man, are those your new school shoes? And he was like, yep. I was like, you wearing them to the baseball game? He was like, yep. And I was like, all right. All right, Playboy. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, my guy. So your boy has grown. I have some growth. Cause again, if I would have been operating from the I'm gonna do unto thee as was done unto me paradigm, I would took my son's head off for wearing some shoes to a baseball game. Like, bro, what are we even talking about right now? What are we even doing? Those are for school, not for baseball games. Say what? School is on Wednesday, bro. That's 3 days from now. It means I can't wear these shoes nowhere until I go to school. Like, that's the stuff my pops was on it, boy. My pops was on some stuff, man. Man, that guy. Shout out Super Mike. Also, I wanted to make this quick note, and I'm gonna wrap this up, man, because I'm a little beyond my 30 minutes. But another example of how things have changed, and I can't keep operating the way that I operate. It's a great example of how things have changed. So back in the day, back on my website, I'm putting every event known to man, like every event we just put on the website, because basically what you're trying to communicate is that I'm working, that I'm in demand. I'm out here getting it done, and so you got all these dates and it looks impressive and people are like, ooh, wow. They go to your website, they see all these dates. Well, now we can't post all the dates on the website, especially private events. So for instance, this school assembly that I just did, we put on our website and people were calling the school asking how can they get tickets to the event. And so like that's different. Like now I just told my wife, hey, we can't, only events we put on the website are ticketed events that people can go and purchase tickets to. That's a difference. That's a change, man. It was not a day. I mean, back in the day, we put like, if we was on a cruise in our personal life, we would put the cruise on the website. Like if you told one joke and I was like, if I was at like this conference I just went to, and I performed twice at this conference. Oh, that would have been on my website. I'm going to the National Speakers Association conference in Phoenix. That would have been right up on my website. Those days are done, man. We gotta take them down. I just told my wife I just talked to my manager. He was like, hey, let's just put only ticketed events on the website. Like that's the only event. Because people go to your website and look and they're like, oh, I see there's a gap in Mike's whatever. Somebody just recently did that to us. They were like, hey, we saw that there was a gap of events or something. But it's like now we don't post all the dates. We just post the dates that people are going to be able to purchase tickets to, which is that's a difference. That's a change. And it's like, wow, that is we're leveling up. That's what my manager says. We're leveling up. So there's not the day where I put everything on the website. Those days have gone. They're out of here, buddy. And so, man, I thank y'all for hanging in with me during this episode. I got a number of things I want to talk about. I got to tell you, I got to get y'all update from the National Speakers Association because I performed Tuesday night. I think I did. So that was after the last week's episode. So I wasn't able to give y'all the update of the Tuesday night event, and it was spectacular. I might as well update you now. It was outstanding. Really did my thing. Maybe I'll go into a little further next week, but I had the opportunity to get in front of the entire room, and I did about 14 minutes of comedy. Knocked it out of the park. So that was one of my goals when I went to the National Speakers Association, was to get my name out there, to have people know who I am. And I think I did a great job of doing that. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Best Advice Ever podcast. It's your boy, Mike Goodwin. You can get to me directly in my DMs. You can jump in my DMs on any social media platform. Also, you can send me an email at bowtiecomedy@gmail.com. Again, that's bowtiecomedy@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things, man. Tell folks about this podcast. I enjoy doing it, and I hope you enjoy listening to it. And I will be back next week. Same bat channel, same bat place. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. See you next time. Peace.